Well, hello and welcome again to Motor Week 89. We're glad to have you with us. Toyota has been making some pretty big noises lately in the four-wheel drive arena. This Celica All-Track, already a formidable contender in European rallying, is gaining a reputation as a sort of latter-day Audi Quattro. Long-time Toyota fans, however, think of a different kind of vehicle when they think four-wheel drive. A big stump jumper that challenges even the Range Rover for the top of the 4x4 heap. That vehicle is the rarely seen Toyota Land Cruiser, a vehicle so rarely seen that we had to go to some pretty extravagant lengths to test it. When we first asked Toyota for an example of the big Land Cruiser to test, we were told that there were none available near our East Coast headquarters. There was, however, one available on the West Coast. It was ours to test if we wanted to come and get it. Fortunately, one of our staff was already in California, so he promptly cashed in his return plane ticket and brought us our Land Cruiser. When it finally arrived, we were surprised by just how big the Land Cruiser really is. With a 107-inch wheelbase and 184 inches of overall length, Toyota's biggest 4x4 is one of the largest vehicles in its class. But its base price of $20,898 means that it's far from being the most expensive. That distinction belongs to the likes of Range Rover and La Forza. But fully optioned and equipped with a California emissions package, it still came to $22,620. The Land Cruiser's 8-year-old styling might seem dated to some people, but the same could be said of many other popular 4x4s. The Land Cruiser shows its age on the inside, too. The interior looks old, with seat fabrics and plastics that might be more at home in a DeSoto. But there's more room here than a Range Rover or Jeep. The dash was obviously designed before ergonomics became an important consideration. Controls are scattered with little thought of driver convenience. The instruments share this haphazard arrangement. It's a very comprehensive cluster, but the old-style gauges are spread out and hard to read. The seats also come from an earlier time. There's almost no bolstering, but they are comfortably well padded with good back support. While the Land Cruiser interior design may be a bit dated, all the modern amenities are present. There's optional air conditioning to go with the well-marked heat and ventilation controls. And a simple, efficient AM/FM radio is standard. A top-line cassette unit is available as an option. The rear seat is a simple bench. It's comfortable and roomy enough for our largest staff members. Cargo capacity is also outstanding, 98 cubic feet with the rear seat folded. There's minimal wheel arch intrusion, so you can easily carry large pieces of furniture. Out at our test track, the Land Cruiser turned in a 0 to 60 time of 14.2 seconds. The quarter mile ends in 19.4 seconds at 69 miles per hour. Hardly what you'd call breathtaking acceleration, but then the Land Cruiser is anything but a sports car. The engine's stump-pulling power curve isn't suited to rapid blast down the track. The 4-speed automatic transmission is smooth and crisp, but the shift points are better for climbing over rocks than drag racing. Stopping the Land Cruiser is a good deal easier than getting it going. The front disc rear drum combination brings the 4,480-pound vehicle down from 60 miles per hour in only 130 feet. Stops are straight and stable with minimal lockup. There's plenty of feedback from the brake pedal and almost no fade. The same can't be said for the very slow power steering, which requires a good deal of input to make the Land Cruiser turn. Add that to the tail's tendency to break loose without warning in hard corners, and you have a vehicle that's a real handful to drive quickly. The vague steering is especially annoying during emergency maneuvers, when you really have to guess what the vehicle is doing. The Land Cruiser may not exactly shine on pavement, but take it off-road and the big bruiser is in its natural element. The semi-elliptical leaf spring suspension doesn't have the remarkable flexibility of the Range Rover's coils, but it easily deals with rough surfaces in a way that puts other Japanese wagons to shame. It takes only a twist of the manual hubs and a flick of a switch to get going, and you can shift in and out of four-wheel drive without stopping. Ground clearance is sufficient for most off-road situations, and heavy skid plates protect the drivetrain. That drivetrain centers on a 4-liter 6-cylinder engine that makes 155 horsepower and 220 pound-feet of torque. That's torque equal to the Range Rover V8, allowing the Land Cruiser to scramble around with the best of them. Back on the highway, the Land Cruiser rode surprisingly well for a serious off-roader, but it still took expansion joints hard. Also, EPA fuel mileage is only 12 city, 14 highway. We got 15 miles per gallon. Interior sound levels fared better with a good 68 decibels. Despite its age, the Toyota Land Cruiser hits us just right with its huge cargo capacity, superior braking ability, and excellent off-road performance. We also like the good highway ride and comfortable seats. Misses include the somewhat high price and poor fuel mileage. We also were unimpressed by the dated interior design and mediocre on-road handling. The Land Cruiser design is showing its age, but that doesn't worry Toyota. Unlike other 4x4s which must sell by the shipload or be quickly dropped, the Land Cruiser is considered a cult vehicle. Only 6,000 arrived in the U.S. last year to be quickly snapped up by a fanatically loyal following. In an age of multi-purpose grocery getters, the Land Cruiser is a true go-anywhere vehicle. It's big, capable, and very utilitarian. It's not for everyone, but for a select few, it's the only 4x4 to have.